Breaking news. Justin Fields set to start week 13, we think. I mean, all the reports indicate he's a go. He's a full participant in practice for the second straight day. No injury designation at all. So Justin Fields looks like he's going to be fired up for week number 13. And I'll answer the question for you right now because you're all going to ask it. Do I start Justin Fields? Of course you start Justin Fields. If you own him, you start him. Unless you've got Joseph cigar-smoking Burrow or Mahomes or Josh Allen, who already played. Guys like that, you don't sit Justin Fields if he's playing. Okay, so I'm going to answer that right now. So if anybody asks me, if anybody in the chat says, should I start Justin Fields? I want everybody to say, go see 30 seconds into the video. Do I start Justin Fields? Go see the first 30 seconds of this video. We've got Najee Harris news. We've got Lamar Jackson news. He's playing week number 13. We've got Etienne news. We've got Jamar Chase news. We got all kinds of news to break down in this emergency breaking news show here on the Fantasy Football Show. First in the building today was David, then Lions Den, then Ant, Carter, appreciate you, then D-Class, James, and so on. File on in, hit that thumb up button. The Fantasy Football Show, yeah, it begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Fantasy Football Show, and we are live, and we are breaking down all of the news that's going to help you dominate your week number 13 and get into your fantasy football playoffs to get your number 1 seed, your number 2 seed, whatever. Scrape in, crawl into the playoffs. Whatever we got to do, we're going to get it done, and we're going to break it all down right now, as we always do when news breaks. So Justin Fields was a full participant in practice today for the second straight day, has no injury designation going into Sunday's game against the Packers, and the Bears believe he's good to go. We believe he's good to go. I see no reason why they're going to hold him back at this point. I will say it feels reckless for them to play him this week. If I was in charge of things, I would sit him because you got a bye week next week. You have nothing to play for. Why not get his shoulder completely healthy? But the fact that doesn't matter. What matters is what's going to happen and what you should be doing with your fantasy football lineups. And Justin Fields is looking like, at this point, 100% go. So fire him up. Get him into your lineups if you've got him. And again, if anybody asks, should I start him? Send him to 30 seconds into this video, because we're not going to answer that question over and over and over. You start him. If you own him, you start him. Are you really going to sit there and bench a man that could run for 120 yards and a touchdown on the ground against the Packers in week number 13 and then ask yourself why? Why did I do that, Smitty? Why did I get cute at the end of the season? We all try and get cute, creative, and crafty with our lineups and our decisions walking into the final weeks, and it's not a good idea. Start your studs. If your studs are in the game, you start them. And that leads us to another player that we must discuss right now, and a player that people are worried about. We're not sure if we should play him. We're not sure if we should start him. What do we do? Is Jamar Chase. It seems to be optimistic at the beginning of the week. This is 2 weeks in a row, and then it gets a little more pessimistic. Now we're looking at this. We're optimistic that Jamar Chase can play against the Chiefs in week number 13. We had this last week. He's going to play. He's going to be good to go. He's going to play. He's going to suit up, and then he didn't. And then it got more negative and pessimistic as the week went on. Now, instead of he's a go, he's probably going to play. They're expecting him to suit up. We're hearing things like they're optimistic Jamar Chase will play week number 13 against the Chiefs. Where Jamar Chase's own words, we're going to see, I'm going to get out there and get game reps. That sounds to me like limited, play. And so I am worried about Jamar Chase workload volume, and it does concern me. But to the tune of what? Do I take him out of my flex spot? Do I not find my wide receiver 3 spot for him? Of course I do. But it does depend on your options and your if you've got Mike Evans, you've got players like, CeeDee Lamb you're putting on the bench because you play in a 4-man grandma league, then of course, you're going to roll with your other options. But if you're talking about Curtis Samuel and different players like that, you can't sit Jamar Chase if he's a go. But he may not be a go. At this point, I'm starting to feel like this is going in the wrong direction. We'll know more tomorrow, maybe tonight, maybe later today. But right now, it does feel like it's going in reverse. It's going in the wrong direction. So let's keep tabs on this. But if he's a go, you got to have some weird scenario, a grandma league, a very, very, a 4-man league, an 8-man league, to where you're going to have options that are going to put Jamar Chase on the bench and not into at least your flex or wide receiver 3 spot. So be smart, put Jamar out there if he plays. On a bad game, he could have 60 yards and a touchdown, but we got to make sure he's playing. So keep tabs on the show. I'm going to go live the minute something like that breaks, so we'll tackle that. Lamar Jackson, who missed some practice time this week with a quad injury, has no injury designation for Sunday's game versus the Broncos and is now officially expected to play. So fire up your Lamar Jackson shares. Okay, that's great news. Great news for everybody that owns Lamar Jackson. And no, you shouldn't be benching Lamar Jackson for mediocre quarterbacks. I understand he's been busting. I told you not to draft him high. He's going to be like this. And then in the beginning of the season, we heard nothing but, Smitty, you're wrong. He's the number 1 quarterback MVP. You're so wrong. Now he's doing what he's done every single year for the last 2 years, either disappoint by getting injured because he runs so much, or he's up and down. He starts the season off really, really badly in 2020, and then fired back in the second half of the season. But he was benchable in 2020 for the first 8 games, 7 or 8 games. He was benchable. He was so bad in the first 8 games, he was benchable. Then he bounced back on a tear. Last year he got injured. It's been 2 years of up and down for him. No one that owned Lamar in the last 2 seasons was happy at the end of the year. I feel like anybody that drafted him a third time is going to be out walking into 2023. No more Lamar up and downs. I can't take it anymore. I feel like that's going to be the vibe from people that own Lamar this year and that have owned him especially this year and in the past. But Lamar, when he's on the field, you got to play him. Unless you've got a quarterback like Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow, Mahomes, those type of quarterbacks, the top 4, top 5 guys, you're starting Lamar Jackson. You drafted Lamar to start. You made your bed. Now sleep in it. And understand that even though he's up and down, and even coming from somebody that said that all year, he's up and down. He's going to be up and down. He always is. He's going to have a bunch of good games, a bunch of bad games. That's the way he is. He's not the best passer, so he's a great running quarterback. And when he is on point with his passing, when the team's got everything in order, they're not trading away his number 1 wide receiver, jostling up the wide receiver room. You got Andrews injured, which is a big part of why Lamar struggled, right? Andrews is a little bit healthier. If you own Lamar, you've got to shove him out there. He could be, any week, he could be the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football that week. So shove him out there. You got to roll the dice, if that's even considered rolling the dice. If you own Lamar, stop trying to get cute in the final weeks of fantasy football. Start your studs. Najee Harris said he's good and will play this week. How is Najee playing and now Jamar might not? What's this world coming to? What's this fantasy world coming to? But now all the Warren believers and Jaylen Warren truthers that were expecting Jaylen Warren to play and start this Week 13 contest, now you're going to see Najee Harris likely in the game against Atlanta. It's a good matchup. Who knows if they use both of the players at the same time. Maybe Najee gets half the work. Maybe Jaylen Warren still gets half the work. We don't fully know how it's going to shake out. But we certainly feel like, Jaylen Warren no longer holds that amazing flex value, right? So we're not going to run Jaylen Warren out into our lineups, I don't think. It would be a reckless move unless you're struggling really, really bad at the running back position. So Najee Harris at this moment in time expected to play. Doug Peterson tells reporters Travis Etienne foot is good to go for Sunday. We knew this was the case. But people they're naturally panicked people. We got a lot of panicked Peters out there. A lot of naturally panicked Peters that worried Williams that can't leave it alone. It's like, Smitty, I'm really worried about Etienne. I've been telling you all week that everything's been positive. All the reports have been positive. The only negative is that he didn't go back into the game in week number 12 when they said he could have went back in the game. The only thing you can draw from that is why. Like, ask the question why. If he could have went back in, why? It was just to what? To a precaution, which is fine. I mean, I understand the precaution, but if he was good to go, why didn't they send him back in? That's the only thing you can come up with, only conclusion or only question you can really pose that's a negative question and there's no answer to. But other than that, everything that's come out since has been positive. Etienne says he's good to go. The reports from Doug Peterson, he's good to go. The offensive coordinator said he's good to go. Everybody's saying he's fine. There's a precautionary move. He's going to be good to go for week number 13. And now you got people spouting out they're going to limit Etienne the rest of the season. I'm hearing whispers of this and whispers of that. Don't listen to anything that your boy Smitty doesn't confirm. I'm not saying maybe we don't get to that point. I'm not saying that maybe this foot injury doesn't turn into something more. I'm not saying that anything can't turn into anything, because the truth is this is fantasy football in the NFL and anything can happen. But what we know right now is there's no negative reports whatsoever, only people trying to conjure up negativity and doubt for a player that had a foot injury, that got his foot injured, and he looks good to go. Okay, so put him out there. Don't even think about benching Etienne in your starting lineup. I don't even want to hear, should I start Etienne or this mediocre player? If you've got Etienne and Walker, you got Etienne and another player like that at that level, then you're number one playing in a grandma league or a 4 or 8 man league. Congratulations, go dominate it. But number two, those are the only names that you're going to consider starting over Travis Etienne. He's a top 10 overall play potentially this week if he's on the field, and he appears to be on the field. So get him in your lineup, fire him up. Travis Etienne, to the moon, pal. To the moon. Get him in your lineups. Great news. That news is just more confirmation of what we already know, but I'm glad I get to present more confirmation, concrete evidence that this man's fine. He's playing. Get him in your lineup. Mike Williams ruled out for Sunday's game versus the Raiders due to his ankle injury. This guy can't get right. Palmer's another good play for Palmer. Keenan Allen's going to be a solid play in this one. Justin Herbert's coming into his own. Once he gets Mike Williams back, he will be I think ready to rip off several 3 TD plus performances, or 3 or more TD performances, and kind of revive his fantasy football 2022 season and kind of revive the fantasy value he holds walking into 2023. But man, this is a lot of good news for the most part. The only thing that isn't positive really is this Mike Williams news right here. And then the news that Jamar Chase is potentially optimistic versus he's a full go or anything like that. Jamar still could play. There's no news that Jamar's not playing. It just seems like it's trending in the wrong direction. Optimistic instead of he's a go. Jamar Chase saying, "Or I'm going to get some game reps. I'm going to look to get some game reps." What's that mean? That doesn't sound like he's full go. So there's some concern there, but not enough to bench him at this moment in time. And then, of course, the Lamar Jackson's going to play. Make sure you fire him up. All right, guys, that's the news right now. Let's dig into Super Chats. We might open the phone lines briefly. Let's dig into these Super Chats real quick and see what you guys have in store for me. Let's see. This one's from JT. Says, "Hey Smitty, half PPR, pick 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Running backs are Etienne, JT, Sanders, White." I mean, bro, it's JT and Etienne. You just can't make a different call there at the running back spot there. Evans and probably Cooper for me. And then you've got a dilemma at your flex is your really only dilemma. Zay Jones has been playing great. Sanders, Rashad White. I probably go Rashad White if it's me. Zay Jones is pretty safe, though, if you want safety. I mean, 11 receptions for 150, right around 150 yards or so. last week. So they love utilizing this guy. He's very, very safe. I don't mind starting him if you want to go that route. Have Fields, Dak, Watson. Play it safe with Dak. Go see 30 seconds into the... Come on, bro. You're starting Fields. I appreciate your super chat, by the way. To the moon, okay? Before I scream at you, and you're never going to want to super chat again. But what do you do? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? You start Fields. If you own Fields and you don't have a top 3 quarterback, top 4, you start Fields. Shrike, don't sit the man that carried you to this point. He's starting. What more can we do? He doesn't have an injury designation. What more can we do? What more can... Where's the report? That's the wrong report. Where is it? Right here? It's so small. I made it so small you can't even see it. Where is it? Here we go. What more can we report? Like, what on here would you need to see, Shrike, to get him back in your lineup, in your good graces? He's a full participant 2 days in a row. He's got no injury designation, and he's going to go into the game and play. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Shrike? Don't overthink it. Shrike, you drafted Fields. Pat yourself on the back for being a monster. You're going to the moon just for that move alone. But don't pack it in, Shrike. Don't pack it in and put Fields on the bench if he's going to go. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Shrike? Thank you, Shrike. Shrike says I'm right. You know I'm right. And I appreciate you. Now, anything can happen, bro. It's fantasy football. Dak could go out and have a 5 TD game. So trust your gut, Shrike. I hate to confuse you a little more, but trust your gut, okay? But how do you sit Fields? Fields doesn't need a shoulder to run for 150 yards this weekend, says Hot Prime. And that's correct. Kamara or Pacheco, I'm debating benching Kamara. I couldn't sit Kamara, but that's me. I'm not saying don't find a place for Pacheco in your heart and in your lineup, bro. But I couldn't sit Kamara. That's me. That would be a difficult decision for me to make. I understand he's been disappointing, but there's no way I'm putting Kamara on the bench. I'm playing Herbert over Fields. That's a debatable situation at least, but Dak and Geno and you start Fields. You start Fields. Herbert is debatable. Unbelievable though, you know. It's like I know I'm gonna have to repeat that all show long, and some people just came in the building, so I'm not mad about it. But it's like, you know, how many times am I gonna have to say that tonight during the 7 p.m. show and during the midnight show? How many times am I gonna have to answer mediocre quarterback? Do I start so and so like do I sit Fields for Watson? And you know, Watson could have a decent day. Could Watson outscore Fields? It's possible. This is football. $10 hauler.
To the moon.
All $10 haulers get a moonshot. Ant Carter says, traded Godwin and Sutton for Tua. Would you send me on a lap if I was thinking of starting T-Law over Mike or Mike White over Tua? Too much ups. Also, need a flex Pierce or Pittman. I'd say give me Pierce, baby. I think he could bounce back. But I would say if you traded Godwin and Sutton for Tua and then you're going to bench him, what are we doing? Why'd you trade for Tua? If you traded Godwin and Sutton for Tua and you want to bench Tua, and I'm not saying that T-Law or Mike White can't outscore him. I love Mike White. But I'm saying for you, if you traded Godwin away, I assume Godwin was the starter for you. If he wasn't, then it's not as big of a deal. But if you traded Godwin away, why would you do that if you didn't believe in Tua, is what I'm saying. I'd say your gut said that you needed Tua, and you needed Tua now. So put Tua in your lineup. Unless Godwin was a bench player, then you're just getting more depth. I get it, but it's like, I don't know. Tough matchup and all. The Niners defense, I get it. But guess what? There's more than one revenge game going on in this contest. Miami Mike revenge game. You got a lot of Dolphin players that used to be Niner players, like Jeff Wilson revenge game. There's a lot of people coming together to say, let's rally around this revenge movement here, and let's go put it on them. And it wouldn't shock me if Tua went out and absolutely blasted the 49er defense. Maybe there's some interceptions and some, but it comes down to wearing down the Niner defense because the 49er offense can't move the football, or they can't score the football. They can move the football. They'll move down to the 20-yard line, kick a field goal because Jimmy can't close. And everyone's going to say, Jimmy closed the other game. Look, say whatever you want. It's Jimmy G. It's Jimmy G. He's not a great quarterback. I don't hate Jimmy G. He seems like a really good person. I don't hate anybody. But he's not a great fantasy football quarterback. Stop acting like he's a winner. The team's a winner. He's been surrounded by talent for a long time. And if you put a different quarterback on the San Francisco 49er team, they'd be unstoppable. They have the best arsenal of weapons in the entire NFL, and they have no way to utilize them. So what is it? How do you beat the 49ers? You score. You score a lot of points. It wears down the defense. The defense doesn't look the same. And I could see the Dolphins doing that. I could see the Dolphins and Miami Mike outsmarting the coach, the coach and the teacher, or the coach and the student, the teacher and the student, outsmarting the teacher. The student comes in, he's already outsmarted him in a lot of ways. And he's been taking players from the 49ers. Give me Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson looks great. You know, Tua, I'm not sitting Tua in this revenge game. This revenge game where Miami Mike is proving to be the better coach, the guy that the Niners should have kept. And everybody laughed at me when I said that. When the Niners traded away when the Niners traded away Jeff Wilson, when the Niners let Miami Mike walk instead of trying to figure out a way to elevate him. And we'll keep Shanahan. And I know it sounded like a joke at the time. A lot of people were like, you can't do that. You can't keep Miami Mike. Miami Mike was the brains behind a lot of the Deebo Samuel production. Gee, I wonder why Deebo's not playing the same. Is it because Miami Mike's gone? Thank you for your super chat, bro. Carter, I don't know what you responded with, but $20 hauler from Red. Red, appreciate you. Red, if you've got a question. Oh, here, it's in the, I thought it wasn't in there. Hey, Smitty, can I call in, big dog? Phone line's open. Dial in, Red. Only Red, call in, okay? If you're not Red, I'm hanging up on you. We'll open the phone line in a minute. But Red can call. Tua or Fields, and should I start Etienne if he plays? Lewis! Are you trolling me right now? I appreciate the $2 hauler, by the way, but Lewis, come on, man. These are the two things I've been saying are irking me the whole show. I think you're joking. Do I start Etienne? Do I start Fields? I mean, I don't know what else to say at this point. Lewis. I mean, what are we doing here? Lewis, the Fields Tua question is somewhat debatable. It's somewhat debatable for sure. He's playing. Is Lewis playing? It's somewhat debatable because I really do think Tua's good. Like I just explained, Tua could have a really good game. I don't mind you going that route. If you wanted to, you know, let's take it a lap on Tua over Fields. But I don't know how you don't play Fields, given what Fields has been doing if Fields is on the field playing. If Fields is on the field, it could be a field day, basically is what I'm trying to say. Damn, I'm going to have to do a super chat and ask the same question tomorrow by the time Smitty forgets. This is Uncle Slayer. Oh, now I'm not going to forget, bro. I would say trust your gut on the Tua Fields one, but I would say Fields for me. Should I start Etienne? He's a top 10 play. Absolutely. Unless you have the other 9 guys, you're going to start Etienne and you're going to put him out in your lineup and you're going to thank him later. He's good to go. He's a full go. Lewis, I appreciate you. No laps will be taken. You super chatted. You're my guy, Lewis. Lewis, bro, fist, broski. Appreciate you. Fields lost Mooney. Thanks for the breaking news, BW. But doesn't matter. You know why? Because Fields runs the ball. And Fields is an absolute maniac. Tua Fields is arguable. Very arguable. That one, Tua is almost a top 5 he's like borderline top 5 quarterback. So when I said if you have a top 5 quarterback, you shouldn't be debating Dak. You shouldn't be debating Cousins. You shouldn't, even though anybody can outscore anybody on any given Sunday, you shouldn't be debating those kinds of players with Justin Fields if he's playing. Jimmy says separated shoulder. Well, not according to the injury designation that says that there is no. That's Jamar. Or that's Lamar. That's Lamar. Where's my Fields report? Fields, according to the report, there's no injury designation, my guy. So separated shoulder. I don't know. Red, are you calling in or what? Thank you, Red, for the super chat. Thank you, Lewis, for the super chat. Thank you, Carter, for the super chat. Thank you, Trent, for the super chat. Thank you, Shrike, for the super chat. Thank you, JT, for the super chat. Tonkery or whatever his name was. Appreciate you, my guy. I'm not in the wrong for starting Mahomes and Hurts over Fields in the Superflex League. I'm not wrong for starting Mahomes and Hurts over Fields. How? Yeah, look, I start Mahomes and Hurts over Fields even when Fields is fully healthy. And we think he could be fully healthy according to the report. But yeah, of course you don't start Fields in those situations. What do you got? Why do you got 3 top 5 quarterbacks? Are you playing on one of those bar sheets where you select any players you want? How do you have 3 top 5 quarterbacks in your league? Not to mention probably some other good players playing in a 4-man league, dominating, bro. Dominating. Excellent work. I mean that. I'm not joking. I'm saying I mean that. Excellent work. It's amazing quarterback rotation you got going on. It's awesome. I would have probably tried to trade Fields if you have all 3 of those quarterbacks and up that lineup. But something tells me you've worked people over and you got an amazing starting lineup anyway. Vamp with the super chat. Vamp says, Smitty, give us tight end bold prediction for next year. All the bold predictions for next year are going to wait, Vamp, because that is content that is going to be gold, and it's coming down the way real soon as Smitty gears up for we're less than 30 days away from the 2023 content drop here on the channel, and it's going to be glorious. If you want glory in your life, you want the 2023 content that's dropping on this channel very, very soon. As on the Fantasy Football Show.com, the 2023 content coming very, very soon. You want glory? That's where you'll find it, at thefantasyfootballshow.com and youtube.com/thefantasyfootballshow. Both places are providing glory all 2023 long. Okay? Free glory being given out on the channel here. And then there's a small price to pay on thefantasyfootballshow.com. We do charge for glory over on thefantasyfootballshow.com, where you get the bold predictions, the one-on-one advice, the video courses, the trade calculator with your boy, the trade calculator with your boy Smitty, I believe invented it in 2003, at least the first instant-based that I can find evidence of. Your boy Smitty has been busy since 2003. I got into this business in 2003 because no one had a trade calculator. That's why I got in. I'm going to build the first instant-based that I could find, because I couldn't find one. The first instant-based trade calculator where you don't have to download anything. You don't have to enter in your roster. You just basically click which player you want, and it tells you whether you should make the trade. That's why I got into the business in 2003. And the bold predictions have been a part of it the entire way. People love the bold predictions, and I'm dropping 2 or 3 of them on New Year's Day. Pick 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. Burrow, I'm going to take Burrow. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. I'm going to go Walker and Etienne. I'm going to go JT in the flex, and I'm going to go Amon-Ra, and pick your poison with DK and Olave. DK's a little bit safer. Olave's got a little more upside, but a little more risk. So the only one I'm not going to lock in for you is that DK Olave one. Pick your poison there. How do I call in? Only Red call in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
I will open up the phone lines in 1 second, but for the moment, don't call in unless you're Red. Red, call in to the show right now, okay? And then anybody else. Thank you, Slayer, for the super chat, by the way. Eric with the super chat here. Red, call in. I'll be expecting your phone call. Smitty, can you fix my lineup? Josh Allen, Saquon, Chubb, Mixon, JT, Aaron Jones, Diggs, Evans, Kirk, DK, Gabe Davis. I mean, bro, you gotta go Saquon and Chubb. You gotta go. Obviously, you went Diggs. Diggs and Evans are your top two wide receivers. And then if you're starting a third wide receiver, I would go DK. If you're not, I would probably, if you have a flex, I'd probably go JT. So that's how I'd start that. Appreciate your super chat, my dude. My dude. Thank you, Vamp, again for your super chat. Bold predictions are coming, my guy. I will say that Kyle Pitts is going to be on a rebound, hopefully. So that might be one. All right, this better be Red, or I'm hanging up on you. Yeah, who's this?
Hey, Smitty, it's Red, buddy.
Red, what's up, Red?
Hey, buddy, I have a quick question for you, boss man.
Yeah.
So, let me find number 4 real quick. First of all, I love your show, man. Love it so much.
Show loves you back.
My second year doing fantasy, and I'm 10-2 because you run 10-2.
Appreciate it. Nice job.
Yeah. All right, let's see here.
What can I do for you?
So, yes, sir. So, I got JT, Camp Walker, Diggs, Devante Adams, Hayden Hurst.
Here, let me write these down. JT, Kenneth Walker.
Diggs, Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
Devante Adams.
Okay.
Hayden Hurst. T. Higgins.
Little T.
Eagles D. T. Higgins, the wide receiver for Cincinnati.
Little T.
The second.
Little T.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Little T. And then Justin Tucker's my kicker.
Okay, who's your quarterback?
Now, well, see, I have Justin Fields in right now, but I have Lamar as my backup. I'm not going to ask the quarterback question. I'm going Fields all day.
Yeah, I mean that I could understand the hesitation there, but Lamar's been playing so badly, and he's they're both reportedly injured, and they're both reportedly no longer on the injury report. So it's like you got to assume both. If you're going to assume Lamar's fully healthy, you got to assume that Fields is fully healthy. So yeah, I go Fields.
I just think that Green Bay game, man, is just going to be – he's going to play hard in that game. Play hard on the what?
Yes, sir.
And the way Lamar's been doing against Denver, I just don't see him – I don't see him doing what he used to do, you know?
Yeah, okay. What's the dilemma here then?
One, I want to get like my backup is Jamar Chase as a backup wideout. I don't know, and I picked it too on my team, and Sanders. Do you think I should take out Devante because he's not been consistent and put in Sanders as that close to game he had, or do you think I just stick with Devante?
Take out Devante Adams?
I mean, they're playing against the Chargers. Like in the way Jackson.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm saying, like, take him out and put Jamar Chase in.
Are you still asking the question?
No, I think I'm good now. Or should I trade Higgins out
Look,
for Jamar Chase?
yeah, if you're going to take anybody out, you get a lot of don't stop running, take 10 laps, bro, what? crying like, bro. Adams is a top.
It's my second year, brother. I'm a rookie. Bro.
Okay, but Adams is a top top 2, top 3 wide receiver. Like, there are people out here. This is like eating food in front of someone that's hungry or something, bro. There are people out here that are dying for a wide receiver, and you're about to put Devante Adams on the bench. No, it would be T. Higgins, Jamar Chase would be the only dilemma you have whatsoever. And honestly, T's probably safer at this point because of the potential snap count and the now optimistic and not full go Jamar Chase. So your team is, don't overthink it. You're probably, what's your record? 7 wins?
I'm 10-2.
10-2. Well, don't overthink this, bro. You're 10-2, doing amazing things in your second year in fantasy football. This is what you call second guessing yourself. You're getting panicked. You're trying to come up with cute strategies and things to like keep the ball rolling. The ball's rolling without you. You could go into a coma right now and just leave this lineup the way it is and probably win your league. So why don't you just go into a resting state and stay away from your squad? Maybe you change your password and don't look at what you change it to, and hit save and just walk away from the table, bro. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Bench Adams because he's been inconsistent. What do you mean, bro? He's dropped.
It's not Adams. It's Carr, man.
But Adams has been balling. Adams has been balling, bro.
It's just Carr scares me, man. Carr scares me. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
And I got everyone on my team I basically drafted except, well, that's a lot. Everyone except Walker. I picked Walker up out of Bonds, and I picked up I traded DeAndre Hopkins for Devante Adams.
Well, that was a great move, but capitalize on it. You know. Yeah, Devante Adams has been fire, bro. I mean, he hasn't been.
Yeah, man.
He hasn't been inconsistent. His last 4 games have been 30. I mean, this is in one league. Every scoring is a little different, but 36.6 points, 27.6 points, 33.10 points, and he had a little 7 for 74 burger game that might have pissed you off a little bit, but like, bro. His last 4 games, 2 TDs, 1 TD, 2 TDs, and 0 TDs. He's the definition of consistency. So, yeah, you know, there should be there should be like people should have sponsors in fantasy football that like you give permission to lock your lineup, and then unless you prove that you're sane and you've got like the right mindset, you can get in there and tinker with your lineup. But there's got to be somebody that like can lock this down for you. Make sure you don't make any crazy moves. You're 10 wins, bro, for a reason. Keep it going. All right. I got to go. Appreciate you. Later. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to? Okay. Good talk. Phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial into the show. This is pick 1. This one's from Chesterfool. Pick 1, Pollard, Watson, Rachaad White, Juju. Palmer, Watson, Rachaad White, Juju, pick 1. I'm probably going Christian Watson for safety. Would I consider Rachaad White? I would. If push came to shove, I would consider Rachaad White, but I think Watson's safest. Rachaad White's probably a little higher risk, but maybe higher reward. Bad idea to flex Garrett Wilson or Cooper over JT. No, not a bad idea, but I probably would start JT if it was me. Okay, let's start off with I got 3 callers on the line here. One of them is Oh Wow Sean. Oh Wow Sean, you stay put. The guy that just made a who is that?
I just called in right now.
All right, what can I help you with, bro? Let's start with you.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, winner.
All right. I wanted to ask you about my lineup, if that's cool.
Yeah, hit me with it.
All right, so I have Justin Fields, Chubb, JT, Godwin, Watson, Andrews, Walker, Maher, and the Seahawks defense. My question is, would you play Keenan Allen over my two wide receivers in Godwin and Watson? And would you play Etienne over Kenneth Walker, JT, or Chubb?
Real quickly, you got Etienne. Okay. You got Fields, Chubb, JT, Godwin, Watson, Walker, you said?
Yes, sir.
And who else?
Brett Maher and the Seahawks defense.
Okay. So your question is Etienne, and who's the other player you have?
I wanted to know if I should start Etienne over Kenneth Walker, Chubb, or JT, and would you play Keenan Allen over Watson or Godwin?
Probably not Keenan. Keenan Allen and Watson are close. So trust your gut there. Chat, does the chat think we should go Watson or Keenan Allen? I think they're going to say Watson, and I kind of agree, but it could go either way. Like, this is one of those, if your gut's screaming something, I don't want you to stray away from your gut because it's super close. I could definitely be swayed. As for the JT Etienne, I mean, you have four really good running backs. So this is one of those situations where Etienne's a top 10 running back play. He's a full go. Doesn't seem like there's restrictions at all. But you also have Walker, Chubb, and JT also potential. They're all top 10 running backs. We got Keenan. We got Keenan Allen's across the board. So go. I guess.
Wow.
I guess go Keenan Allen. Wow. I was thinking Watson was going to get more love.
But what do you think?
Bro, they're very close. If I had to pick, I would say. I don't know. I guess I have a little bit of I don't trust Keenan Allen right now.
Okay.
Going
let me
on.
tell you this then. I'm 8-4. I'm currently sitting in third, and I'm playing the first place guy, and his QB is Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I oftentimes don't let that affect me because I don't want. Because think about it, like you could play that game all you want and say that could take away some of his Herbert points, but what if Watson goes nuts and you could add Watson and let's say Herbert does bad, or Herbert does great and Keenan Allen doesn't do great, then it's like, who cares? Like, put your best players out there. Don't worry about his team. Never worry about the opponent's team. Put your best players on the field.
All right.
Okay, I get. You know what? I guess go Keenan Allen. Because with Mike Williams out, I do feel like he's going to lean on him a lot. The only hesitation I have is that Watson's been performing. He's been scoring touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers is reportedly good to go. So my hesitation is that we haven't seen enough out of Keenan Allen to trust him. But you know what? The chat sway me on this one. I like the Keenan Allen call. I don't say that because of Herbert. I don't think you should worry about that guy's quarterback situation. But I would say that, like, you're in a dilemma here with Etienne, JT, Watson, and Walker.
I know.
Because,
and I tried to trade one away, but nobody wanted to take either of them.
Yeah. I guess if push came to shove, bro. I mean, I believe Chubb's like a top 3 running back play across the board, across the industry. I think JT's a top 5 or 6 play across the industry. Walker's top 6, 7, 8, somewhere around that range. And Etienne's around like the 10 to 12 range. But the reason he's around the 10 to 12 range is people are worried about the injury. I'm not worried about the injury. But I think that if you want to go the safe route, like what if they did limit him a little bit just as a precaution because he's playing. And if anybody's got Etienne that doesn't play in a grandma league like this guy, where you literally have, all these, and I say that as a compliment, in some respects, so don't take that negatively. Some people get real mad. They're like, it's not a grandma league, it's a real competitive league. But you have rich person problems, so people aren't going to believe you, no matter what you say to us. Everyone's going to say this is a 4-man league. I'd probably say you got the right lineup in. Except for Watson for Keenan, but I'm okay with Watson over Keenan. If your gut tells you to do it, do it. You can't
I
go.
would only say do it because of Aaron Rodgers is always successful against the Chicago secondary.
Well, go with your gut. Go with your gut. Don't worry about what the chat says. The chat didn't, no one, there are a lot of times where we don't see something coming as a massive group, man. So, it's close enough to where just because everyone said Keenan Allen, about 80% of those could have been like typing Watson and then they changed their mind and they're like, it's real close, man. Watson and Keenan Allen, you can't sit here and say with confidence that one is wrong and one's right. They're both pretty fire right now. Like Keenan Allen being back and Mike Williams being out. He's a good option. I just don't know how much I trust him right now. But have there been players I don't trust that have done really, really well, like Josh Jacobs? Yeah. So Keenan Allen could do that. He could really turn it around for me. Just trust your gut. Don't listen to anybody else but your gut. You got the right players in, but maybe the Keenan Allen Watson. And if your gut says Watson, go Watson, bro. I know you wanted me to. I know you wanted me to make the decision for you, but Watson and Keenan are dead even. And let me give you this. I'll leave you with this. Across the industry, the entire industry, Keenan Allen is ranked number 14 or 15. Watson is ranked about 20 to 24. According to what other people are doing across the industry. So that leans in the direction of Keenan Allen. Most people are starting Keenan Allen. All right, so
I'm gonna swap it out. Fuck it, I'm gonna swap it out.
Up! You swore! He's gone! Oh wow, Sean, you're next. What's up, oh wow, Sean?
Hi, Smitty. How are you doing?
What's up, oh wow? How is it, bro?
Yeah. So I just had a question about my starting lineup this week. I really need a win this week, and there's some people who I think are or some spots on my lineup that I think I'm a little 50-50 on. But can I run you through my team?
Yeah. Hurry with it. We gotta roll. We got a lot of people on the phone here. Can you give me the dilemma?
So,
can you just give me the dilemma?
Sure. So, right now I'm deciding between Swift, Rashad White, and Kamara, and then in my flex I'm deciding between Jamar Chase and Chris Olave.
What does the chat think about Chase and Olave, given the new information that there's a little bit of backtracking, a little bit of like he's optimistic, we're hopeful. Chase saying I want to go out there and get some game reps. Is he? Maybe he's just saying I want to get out there and get some action. But like it feels like it's heading in the wrong direction. What's the chat think? Olave over Chase or Chase over Olave? As far as this question up top, Swift, White, Kamara, I love all three options this week. Believe it or not, even Swift. But I believe that I would not be able to sit Kamara. I feel like he's too capable in this time frame of going crazy. We've seen it before. Him score 5 and 6 touchdowns in one game. I just couldn't sit Kamara if it were me. I'm not saying I don't like Swift and White in a flex spot or don't find a way to play them, but I just can't in good conscience put Kamara on the bench during the time when it's crunch time. I would go Olave with
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so would you go? So then Swift would potentially go in my flex. So would it be Olave, Swift, or Chase then?
I'd probably go Olave, but the chat's saying I think the chat's saying Olave. It's just safer. It doesn't mean that we don't love Jamar Chase. It doesn't mean that Jamar Chase isn't starting for a lot of us. But it does feel like it's gone backwards a little bit. Now, could we hear something later today or tomorrow that says Chase is 100% go? Not he's 100%, but 100% go. Like he's playing. Go. He's gonna put. Then we have another debate and we discuss it again. But for right now, Olave's the safe play, bro.
Okay.
All
and
right,
the last thing, real quick.
Yep.
Would you rather have Komet or Hayden Hurst in your tight end this week?
Komet. Fields is back. Let's go.
Okay. All right, got it. Thank you so much, Fitty.
All right,
Thanks,
later.
chat.
And that's also another good tip for everybody that Kmet got dropped. With Fields back, you want to maybe grab Kmet. Okay, I've got Andrew on hold, and I've got another caller that's unnamed. Let's go with the unnamed caller who's been waiting patiently. What can I help you with?
I think you're talking about me.
That's unless you're Andrew.
My name's Nathan.
What's up, Nathan?
No, my name is Nathan. I've called in like a week ago, but so my dilemma is I got Debo in my flex, and I'm not 100% sure he's playing, which obviously if he plays, I'm playing him. But if he doesn't, do I start Pacheco or Burks?
I go Pacheco over Burks, but that's me. They're very close, and I think a lot of people love Pacheco this week. I'm sorry, Burks this week. But
Also, it's full PPR if that makes a difference.
Yeah. I mean, I always assume PPR anyway, but I would probably say give me Pacheco.
Yeah.
I feel like the volume's really there for him right now. Could that change? Absolutely. But I feel like Pacheco is a real good play, and I think if they get up big, they'll probably run. Or if they get up a little bit, they'll try and run and control the clock, I think. But you never know. And Burks is, all these rookies are kind of coming into their own, as I always say. They go through the mental rookie wall, the physical rookie wall, and right around this time they all start doing pretty good things. So I would say Burks is safe if you just want to go very, very safe. But I like Pacheco myself. But Debo, I don't know what to say about Debo. There's weird reports, a lot of he weather is what kept him from practicing, or hey, he's looking very less likely to play. The other problem is even if Debo plays, might he finish the game? He's pretty banged up, I think, in a couple of ways. But it'd be hard to sit Debo if he was deemed starting. I probably would play him.
Yeah, exactly.
But Pacheco's, pretty safe.
It also hurts that Burks is playing the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like if he wasn't playing the Eagles, I'd for sure throw Burks in with no question almost.
If you have any question about Debo and you went Pacheco, I wouldn't make you take a lap. Like, Pacheco's pretty safe. I mean, I feel like he's pretty safe. His volume's been very good, but
I feel like I got some good options for sure.
Yeah.
It's nice to be like debating between Pacheco, Burks, and Debo in my flex. So
at the end of the day, if Debo was starting and there was no question about him starting, like if they're like Debo's gonna give it a go or something, then I'm gonna be like, okay, give me Pacheco. But if it's like Debo's good, he's fine, he's deemed good, it's very positive, I probably would start Debo. It's a revenge game for a lot of people.
Yeah,
it's not.
Too.
Yeah, I mean, Debo and the Niners will be looking to. Shanahan's going to be looking to prove Debo is not dependent on McDaniel. McDaniel's going to try and prove. Yeah, there's a lot to be proven, so this is a tough game to sit out with your players.
Sure.
All right, bro.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Nathan. Appreciate your call. Call in anytime. Andrew, you're up, pal.
For sure.
Hey, what's up, Smitty?
What's up, Andrew?
Hey, I'm in a dog fight. We got 4 of us at 7-5. I'm on the outside looking in. If you go over my teams, I need some help. I'm playing another 7-5 guy this week.
Okay.
I need to get a win. I got right now. My quarterback is I got Watson, Fields, and White. I got Taylor, Mixon, Rashad White.
Hold on, Jonathan Taylor.
Warren.
Jonathan Taylor.
Mixon, Rashad White, and Warren. My receivers, my receivers are pretty good. I got Amon-Ra, Higgins, and Godwin. I also got Zay Jones and Peoples-Jones on the bench. Tight end is Everett. And I don't think you need a kicker or the defense.
Yep. Okay. So what's the dilemma here?
Quarterback and
Quarterback.
with
Quarterback.
well, what I just play Fields, right? I hear it in the background. Okay. Well, and my running back too. I mean, Mixon's. We don't know if Mixon's going to play,
True.
right? I mean, and Fournette's coming back, right?
So, but what do you got? What are your alternatives on the bench?
it's only Warren who Najee's going to play now, and I only have Hasty. There's not a lot of room.
So you don't really have a dilemma
There's
though.
not a
Like you
lot.
got to. Yeah, I don't know what you're gonna do. You got to throw.
There's really nothing to pick.
Yeah, you don't have any dilemmas though. You're just hoping that everything comes
I
together.
guess I don't.
You
Yeah.
Don't.
Is there any news? I actually just came in and called in. I joined late. I didn't hear any news on Mixon about today.
Yeah, Mixon. Let me pull up the latest on Mixon. Mixon is still in the concussion protocol. It's probably a good player to report on now anyway. But let me see if I can pull up any Mixon news here. He's still in the concussion protocol, which isn't good. Can you? P Ryan's already.
No, not on a Friday.
He's already. You can't grab P Ryan, I assume.
No, I can't. I just trade actually everybody on my team. This is nobody I drafted. I've been trading for these players all year.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry about Rachaad White. He's locked in, especially for you. You don't have any option. Like you can't be you don't have the luxury to be talking about. Well, Fournette's coming. Well, it doesn't matter. He could be your number one running back. You know. As for your second player, I mean, it's going to either be Mixon because he plays, or it's going to be Jaylen Warren, who might get 30 or 40 or 50% of the work. But Joe Mixon's still in the concussion protocol, questionable for week 13. P Ryan's looking like another start, but that could change. We'll just have to see. I doubt it does. We're kind of getting down to the wire, but yeah, you don't have a dilemma, bro. You just got to roll it out there. Mixon plays, you play him. If not, you put Warren in, and that's it. There's nothing else to move, unless you could start JT and Mixon, and then JT and Rachaad White, and then you can't start Zay Jones in place of Mixon, can you? Like in a flex, can you move White into your running back too, and then start Zay Jones?
That would take out Godwin. Would you rather?
No, I don't want to take out Godwin.
I got Godwin down there because I'm playing Amon-Ra, Higgins, and I got Godwin in the
So
play.
you start 3 running backs and 3 wide receivers?
No. I got it's 2 in play.
Oh, then you're fine. You're fine. If Mixon doesn't play, Rachaad White, it's good to go. You're fine.
Okay.
If Mixon plays, I probably play Mixon. I play Mixon over White, but it's close. I mean, honestly, it's still close. Just to give you a good feeling about how I feel about Rachaad White still, regardless of Fournette. It's still a very close call. I'd probably go Mixon if he plays, but if Mixon doesn't play, you're fine. You have no dilemmas, bro. You're fine.
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right, man.
I probably shouldn't even have to call in.
No, bro. You can call in anytime you want. I appreciate you. Sometimes people just want reassurance, bro. I get it. Some people want me to look in the crystal ball. Smitty, am I going to win? I'm like, sure. It's
That's
okay.
exactly it.
I'm like your fantasy football shrink, bro. It's okay. Sometimes you have a little panic attack. You give me a call. I talk you down. And we're good. I'll see you next session.
Have a good night, man.
All right, later. All right, next caller. Who am I talking to? What new client do I have on the phone right now?
What's going on, man? My name's Dre. I'm always on your thing under Team Zero Gaming.
All right, hey, hold on one second. Hey, Eli. I keep adding you, and you're in the queue, and you keep hanging up. Do you want to be on the show or not?
Hell yeah.
Okay, hang tight, Eli. Hang tight. All right, Zero Gaming. Appreciate you dialing in, my man. What can I help you with?
Man, I appreciate you for answering the call. Now, first off, you're my dog. You've helped me get to. I'm sitting pretty good right now. I'm 9-3.
Okay.
So, I'm trying to arrange something right now. So I have currently Brady, Eckler, Chubb, Metcalf, Waddle, Higbee, Olave. We ain't gonna talk about Jacoby Myers, but I got him. I have the Seattle kicker, Bucks defense, and then on my bench, I got Rachaad White and Jamal Williams. The other players are like just little pieces there, and Mike White. I don't care about them. I care more about like the main ones.
So you said Higbee.
Okay.
You said Higbee. Do you have a starter after that? Is there a flex you named or no?
For my tight end.
After Higbee, who did you say?
Oh, I said I have Olave.
Oh, love it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out what moves would you make with this roster to solidify. Like, I mean, it's never a guarantee in fantasy. We know that. I started off 9-1. I lost my last two due to actual coaching decisions. I made two bad decisions and lost because of that. But I want to make sure in this long run, especially with playoff schedule, that I'm sitting pretty. Like, I'm trying to make the right moves. Like, I like my roster, but I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know what it is.
You can still trade right now?
Yeah. In my league, we keep it open all year.
I mean, you have Rachaad White. Who's your next best bench player?
Jamal Williams.
Jamal. Those are good trade pieces. Either one of these guys to upgrade. Brady, of course. I don't know how easily someone's going to get rid of. I mean, Fields would have been a great acquire before this news broke, but you didn't really know Fields was going to get shut down, but like you could still toy around with the idea of trading Jamal or White and Brady for Fields. Who does the Fields owner have at quarterback? Fields and who else? A lot of times people that have Fields have like another quarterback.
The person that has Fields, because we're a 12-person league. It's real half right now. Like, a lot of people have everybody. Like, there is no. I have Mike White, but I don't trust him. We don't know what he's going to do. So I mean,
I trust him.
But someone did offer me Pittman for Jamal Williams. I was thinking about taking that.
Pittman? I mean, you can't use Pittman.
That's my problem.
If I was trading,
that's what I was thinking.
If I'm trading Jamal, I'm upgrading. I'm doing a 2-for-1. I'm not doing 1-for-1s. I'm trying to get Fields for Brady and Jamal. I'm trying to get Andrews using Higbee and Jamal, or Rachaad White and Higbee. Preferably, I don't know which one I'd rather keep because Jamal's steady, but I feel like White has more win a league potential. But regardless, I'm trading one of these guys for Higbee to get Andrews. I'm trading one of these guys in DK to upgrade into, maybe if you can weather through the ups and downs of Jamar right now, maybe Jamar Chase is a person you could acquire because his owner's freaking out a little bit about the news that he may or may not play. Eckler and Chubb I'm fine with. Waddle I'm fine with. Olave I'm fine with. It really is just Higbee, DK, and Brady that I'm trying to just do 2-for-1s to get one better player, giving up White and Jamal. Or you could even put White into your lineup and you could trade like DK and Brady for a Hurts, or DK and Brady for a top quarterback, because you could throw Olave into DK spot, throw Rachaad White into Olave spot, and you'd be fine, or Jamal into Olave spot. So don't be afraid to couple Higbee, DK, and Brady. Any one of those, two of those three starters for one better starter, and then throw the flex guy in. I mean, you got a lot of options there. DK and Jamal could maybe get you an upgrade over DK. A pretty decent upgrade over DK.
Yeah, me and the dude was close yesterday to Metcalf and Higgins. We were close, but he backed out last minute from it. But I feel like I could pursue that. I feel like I could still stay on that if that's a good idea in your opinion.
DK for Higgins?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay, but I mean, with Chase coming back, I like Higgins, but I don't know if he's a massive upgrade over DK.
That's what I'm thinking. The volume,
he's probably
because I care. And then on our league, the quarterbacks get the most points. Like we have a high quarterback league. Like for instance, Brady's been doing rough, but in our league, he's still getting like 60 plus. Like the quarterback
60 plus
a lot in our league. Yeah, like he had
10 points per TD. I mean, look, I think Brady will bounce back a little bit. I think he has a better finish, but I like Mike White. I don't hate Mike White. I trust him.
Yeah, I was thinking about starting him. I'm looking at playoff schedule like in real NFL, and I'm like, Buccaneers right now have to win technically, and their division sucks, so they're gonna have their back against the wall every week. Then I'm like, and then White he looked good. Like he got the weapons. I just got to see, what to do. I just want to complete my team because like I get to the finals all the time, but like the past 7 years, but I always lose like in the last 2 games. I always lose in the conference or the finals, and I'm trying to get over that hump this year.
Yeah, well, trust your gut. and stay with your studs. Like don't get too crazy. But yeah, try and do some trades, but don't touch Waddle or Chubb or Eckler or preferably Olave. And you got a good squad.
All right, my man.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
For the call, bro. I really
Yep,
appreciate
later.
you, man.
Okay, Eli, you're up. Eli, what can I do for you?
I got a trade question.
Okay.
It's a 10-team Start 8 Dynasty League, and I'd be sending away George Pickens and a mid to late 23 first. It's my first, and I'm in the playoffs right now. I'm going to make the playoffs for Waddle.
It's that's tough because I do like Pickens a lot. I do. I like Pickens an awful lot. In a first rounder, mid to late though. I'd probably say
Yeah,
Waddle.
it just depends on how I do.
I'd probably say Waddle. Does this trade make you a contender this year?
Yeah, actually it would, because like my flex position, it's like Gabe Davis, Juju, and then like Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, I'd probably do it. I mean, Waddle's good, man. I mean, Waddle, he's in a really good spot. He's got an amazing coach that's going to keep that offense like popping. So I'd probably say, I'd say go get that cash, bro. And then on top of that, it's not the end of the world. Like Pickens is not going to be Waddle. I like Waddle more than I like Pickens. Pickens is good, but Pickens is probably in his situation not going to be as good as Waddle. He could be. I mean, he could get close or whatever. I really do like Pickens a lot. I just don't love his situation, but his situation will improve. Yeah. But that first rounder in Pickens to get back to the Waddle level, it's going to be a while before you could see the return that would equal Waddle. So just take Waddle. Take it now.
And then another I have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a super flex league, and I have Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, and then after that it's Heineke. I think I need another quarterback for the playoffs, especially because Fields is on a bye next week and Kyler's on a bye for this week, so I'm starting Heineke on my super flex.
Yep.
What is there any like QB I should be looking to target for the playoffs or
Mike White sometimes is cheap. People don't believe. Tyler Huntley I pick up and hold just in case. Just like if you had picked up Mike White and held him, look what would have happened.
Yeah.
Past that, I mean it's very vague. I mean, you'd have to dismantle part of your team to do it. So, like, why do it? Like if you're in the playoffs, are you in the playoffs?
Yeah.
So why worry about next week and this week? You know what I mean? Like, why dismantle your shot at going through the playoffs healthy and intact for a backup quarterback, bro?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. You're in the like if you had to get wins, I could understand it. But if you're in the playoffs and you're just talking about seeding and everything, who cares? Like, if you'll have Fields and Murray ready for the playoffs, so don't dismantle your team or dilute it to get a third quarterback that's not going to play.
Yeah, makes sense.
But pick up Huntley in case that ends up Taysom Hill potentially. Those are just like desperate plays, especially if you're in a Yahoo league. But all right, bro.
All right.
Hang tough. Don't make any trades that dilute your team. All right, appreciate you.
All right. Yep.
I think sometimes people just overthink stuff. Like, I gotta get this in case this happens. Well, what are you doing to the lineup if you start doing that stuff? You're gonna dilute your lineup. Just get it done. Bad idea to flex Garrett Wilson or Cooper or over JT. I'd start JT. I think I've already said that. Get her done, but I just wanted to clarify that. Appreciate you. Big crit. I always have to be so careful when I read that now. Big crit. Big Smitty. What's going on? I need a flex. Running back and wide receiver. I got Rashad White, Pacheco, Kyron, Zonovan, Knight, Jay Wilson, Jeff Wilson, Palmer. This is a tough one. I'd probably say I'd probably say your wide receiver is going to be Christian Watson, although Zay Jones is really nice. I'm going to say Pacheco and either Rashad White or Jeff Wilson Jr. I'd probably go Jeff Wilson Jr. and Pacheco and Christian Watson if it was me. But very, very, very close. Very close. You could sway me into the Rashad White instead of Pacheco But you told me to ask later in the week, so here we go. Start Pollard or Rashad White. Probably Rashad White right now. I love Pollard, though. Does anybody disagree? Should we be going Pollard? They're both kind of potentially have a nuisance, nipping at their heels, but Zeke might be a little more firmly in place of guaranteed 50% workload. Whereas I think we don't know what Leonard Fournette's going to do. He's benched essentially for Rashad White. Just because Leonard Fournette's back doesn't mean he's starting, doesn't mean he's getting full volume, doesn't mean he's getting half volume. I think everybody assumes that Rashad White's the 1A and Fournette could become the 1B. I'm going with Pollard if Fournette plays. I'm going Pollard all day. Pollard for sure. There you have it. The chat has spoken. I like hearing that, though. I like hearing your faith in Pollard. I love both of them. Sometimes I have a tough time with this one because I want to say both of them. Fantasy Dad says White. I'm torn. I could get behind whatever, but I said White. I guess I lean on White, but I think Pollard is a fantastic play. It makes me sick to think anybody's got to sit Pollard, if that makes you feel any better. But it makes me sick if anybody sits Rashad White. So equally. Not to confuse you. Everything Smitty just said could be said about White. Yeah. They're in the same they're in similar situations, for sure. Trust your gut, Vamp, because either one could have 2 touchdowns and 100 total yards. Either one. What's up, Smitty? Week 13, PPR flex, Pollard, Garrett Wilson, White. Here we go. Pacheco. Our community is loaded with Rashad White, Pollard, and Pacheco shares across the board because that's how we roll. Those were 3 big dog pickups for us all year long. And Pollard draft. Garrett Wilson. How do you pick between this? You're going to get it wrong 9 times out of 10. They're just too talented, this group. Pacheco might be safest, I suppose, but who knows? Garrett Wilson's real safe, too. Rashad White, Pollard. Chat, what are we doing here? Pollard, Garrett Wilson, Rashad White, Pacheco. Pick one. And who do you like rest of season? Neil, that's a... Good God, Neil. White or Olave? Olave's a little bit safer. Just a little bit. But I like both of them. Bro. I don't want to sit either one of them. Shoddy says, come on, boys. Let's get those likes up for our boy Smitty. Punch the thumb up button. 122 of you. 283 are still in here, and only 122 of you have punched that thumb up button. Appreciate you all. What are we doing here? What are we doing here for Neil? Garrett Wilson, Rashad White, Pacheco, or Pollard? Chase practiced fully. That's good news. We'll be breaking that on separately on the top of the show if that happened. Let's see here. Cam Akers is not on the final week 13 injury report, but is he on any report at all? Christian McCaffrey is not on the San Francisco 49ers week 13 final injury report. We'll break that on the 7 p.m. show and talk about that. Appreciate you all being here. Josh Jacobs is questionable for week 13. We'll break that on the 7 p.m. show as well. So get ready for that. We're probably going to end the show here, and then I'll come back at 7 p.m. because we're almost there anyway. Deebo Samuel is questionable. We'll break that on the show here. A lot of news trickling in right now, so we'll be breaking that in just a little bit over an hour. and I'll look for Joe Mixon, still questionable. I'll look for some Jamar Chase concrete news and information for you. So my answer, Neil, would be, I guess, the more I look at it, the more I want to go Pollard. I love Rachaad White, though. Neil, I still feel like this is a tough one to answer right now. I think I'll have a better answer tomorrow. For right now, I want to lean Pacheco, but let's circle back on this one. We just need to circle back. I'll see you all at 7 p.m. because I'm live Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm also live whenever news breaks, which is this exact show right here. And I'm live at midnight on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's tonight as well. So there's 2 more live streams going today. Yeah, we got 2 more live streams today. See you all on the flip side. Peace out. Hey, Robert, didn't you super chat at the end of a show? At the end of the show yesterday? Robert, you super chat at the end of the show yesterday. Please ask your question again real quick. I did answer you in the video and pinned it. But I saw you super chat late, Robert. Can you please ask your question again real quickly in the chat and I'll answer it. Appreciate you, Robert. I'm pretty sure you did. You super chatted right at the end of the show. Let's see what Robert says. See you guys all at 7 p.m. Eastern. Smitty needs food. He's tired. How do you know, Patrick? How do you know what I am? Appreciate you, Patrick. Thank you, Mealy, for being here. I'm looking for Robert's question. White or Mixon? If Mixon plays, probably Mixon, but he's questionable, Josh. He may not play, man. Just announced CMC clears injury. Yep, I just said that, and then we'll also be talking about that on the 7 p.m. show. But yeah, I just read that off. Robert ain't here anymore. I guess he's not. Robert! Robert. All right, Robert. Check the chat if I hit end here and you ask the question, I'll answer it right then and there. All right. See you all at 7 p.m.